you just have to go through a lot of difficulty, but you can change the world.
The first question is, what was your inspiration to create documentary videos?
So I would say, I guess it was like a really long journey for me. So I was in the music industry before doing YouTube, and my girlfriend was also in the film industry, and so I guess, we wanted to put our heads together and, do something that would kind of, I guess, play to our strengths, because, I wanted to start a business, but I was like, well, what is something that I have a lot of experience in, which is music, and she has experience in film. And so I wanted to get into YouTube. I was like, this is the perfect, way to get into it. And when we started, it was like, whatever. My YouTube videos were not good, to say the least, but, over time we got better, and I always wanted to focus on quality. And I know that, documentaries are like pretty much like one of the highest quality type of videos out there. So I think like it just kind of fell into place. It was like, yeah, we can do this. I think that creating documentaries would give us like the funnest time, because we're able to like really express a lot of quality. We can push out really good quality content, and that was like the perfect way to do it, I guess.
Yeah. How did you come up with your channel name?
Yeah, so my channel name, very interesting. But initially, so do you know like a YouTube channel called Aperture?
No.
So Aperture is, I guess like a philosophy channel kind of, but I really like their style. And so initially I wanted to create a channel similar to that. So, Aperture, I was like, Aperture. So I should probably find a name similar to Aperture's, and which is visual venture, I guess. Like, Aperture, visual, and then venture, because I want to take people on an adventure. And that's how I came up with it. Like, I guess in hindsight, I probably would have changed it into something more of like concrete, like an actual like name. But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what do you use to record and edit?
Yeah, so my team uses Premiere Pro and After Effects. So that's like the main thing that we use. I think like one of my editors kind of uses Final Cut, but then I think he moved on to Premiere, because we usually, we like to use Premiere so that everything is like all in the same project. So if anyone else wants to edit, we come together, and then we can like, work on it in the same project. And then for sound design, so because I was a musician, I'm like pretty specific about music and sound effects. I use Logic Pro, so Logic Pro X for sound design specifically. I know that like editors do not go through another platform, but because I came from the industry, I'm like, I gotta make this sound like perfect, and I got to make the music really good. So then, we use like a dedicated like musician, software for audio.
That's good.
Yeah.
How do you make your thumbnails?
Yeah, so thumbnails, that is a very long process. Let me see if I could explain it in like, I guess like a little bit, like, not too long, but I would say there's a lot that goes into it. I think psychology is the biggest thing. Color theory is also a very big thing. Before I wanted to create thumbnails that were, I guess, that have like really good like quality, thumbnails that look beautiful. But I, started to realize that it's not really like the beauty in the thumbnails that make it like clickable. It's more so like the psychology behind it. So it's like I always try to think about ways to get, people to like find interest in it. So when they look at it, like instantly they're like, oh yeah, I want to click that. And it's a hard process. I think there's like a lot of like learning that I'm like, I think it's gonna do well, and then it doesn't. And then something that I also like to do is I use a lot of like color theory, which is why it's like, my thumbnails are really bright, because in my head, I don't know if this is true, but I'd imagine that, it's brighter, then it stands out amongst the other thumbnails on YouTube. And so, people want to click more.
Out of all of the videos on your channel, which is your favorite and why?
So out of all the videos, I would probably say that the Ashley Madison one is my favorite. So that one's, it was like, forgot the title. Like how one hack, something 37 million cheating husbands.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because previously I would cover like the dark side of, platform X here, right? Like the dark side of Discord, the dark side of Instagram. But this one was really like an experiment. I was like, I want to move toward a more like documentary style. And I think that one told a really great story. And at the same time, that one also got a lot of views. And I was like, wow, it kind of helped me understand that I could talk about this stuff. And this is what actually I want our channel to lean more toward, like more like documentary style. So we can tell like really awesome stories. And then another one that I actually liked too was, it was like my first documentary ever when I was still experimenting with like, what if we get into the documentary, type of content, was the cancel culture video a long time ago. And so that, the reason why I'm like proud of it is because it was only me and my girlfriend that made it. We didn't have other people helping us at the time. And like looking back, I was like, that's a pretty good, well-made video. Even though it was a bit slow, like now I make it faster. But those are the two that I'm like really proud of. That's
nice. Are you satisfied with the views you were getting on your videos?
So I would say, it's always a blessing to have, the views that I have. I'm very grateful for them, but I definitely always want to push for more, right? So, when I do anything, I guess, when I go into business or, when I want to take on an endeavor, it always has to do with like helping others, right? Like that's just my thing. I don't know why, but I always want to make some kind of change. I want to, do better for the world. I want to help others. And, the more views that we get, the more we get to help others. And of course, on top of that, it also helps support a family. And that's what I'm trying to go toward because I'm getting kind of older.
How do you come up with your video ideas?
Coming up with video ideas. I would say that it's been a struggle. I think when it comes to video ideas, it's a constant experiment. So I do my best to gauge what I believe that my audience would want to see, as well as something that I'm also passionate to talk about. And then like sometimes they perform well, sometimes they don't. And then from there, I'm like, why didn't it perform well? And I try to figure that out. And so I think that's kind of a harder thing to answer because I'm always like trying to learn my niche and trying to learn what I can talk about and what I want to talk about. And at the same time, what will also be able to get us views. So that's like always a balance that I haven't figured out yet, but I'm working on it.
What ages do you aim your videos towards?
Yeah, so my audience is on the younger side. So I was actually surprised because I didn't really think that our content was strictly for the, for younger people, because I would think like, the dark side of like Discord. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know like a lot of young people use Discord, but I would think it's also like more like a bit more like morbid. But my audience is on the younger side, like somewhere from like around like 12 to 24, I guess. And so it's like a pretty big gap, but I would say around there. I would say, I kind of try to make it catered toward like, I guess in the middle, like around like 18. Yeah.
What are some things you do outside of YouTube?
Oh, this is a fun one. Nothing. I don't do anything. I'm just I stay at home all the time. I mean, YouTube is my life. Well, I used to be a musician, But now I'm like, now that I'm doing YouTube, it like takes up like all my time. But you know, I enjoy it. I'm not like, I'm not angry about it. I actually really love it because it gives me something to really you know, push for every day, you know.
Yeah, as long as you enjoy it, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, if you don't enjoy what you do and you do it even half the time that I work on YouTube, I feel so bad for you, you know.
Yeah. In your opinion, what app do you think most people should be concerned about?
So I would say that it's probably less about the app and more about how people use it. Like, especially, you know, for kids, right? Like Discord, right, is safe and unsafe at the same time. You know, 4chan is safe and unsafe at the same time. But I think it really comes down to the kids and, you know, the inappropriate content that they stumble upon. Because like I use Discord all the time, you know, I would be able to use these sites and not have issues because I'm pretty aware that like I shouldn't build an online community around like inappropriate topics, but you know, for kids, you know, some of them may not know. And they're like, "Oh, I made this friend." And it's like, "Well, that's not your friend." But, you know, I think that's really where it, you know, it's what the concern is, I guess.
Yeah. And what is your opinion on Discord? And I'm asking this because like a lot of people use it. So what's your opinion on that overall? Yeah,
so I'm absolutely not against Discord at all. I mean, I'm against, you know, the dark sides of it, right? You know, I feel like there's a dark and there's a good and bad side to everything, like literally everything. And my channel just so happens to talk about the bad side, but that doesn't mean that it's all bad.
To the people watching this interview, what tips would you give them to stay safe online? And it can just be a couple of tips.
For sure. So as far as like, you know, like, I guess like cybersecurity, I would say the biggest thing for me is a password manager. So, I mean, like, you know, people can hack into your account like pretty easily if you have like a simple password, but literally a password manager, like in a couple clicks, I could create the most difficult password that would take even me like 5 minutes just to write out. And so on top of that, then I would say definitely use 2FA or get a security key. So now, ever since I got hacked, I use security keys on everything. So that way, you know, like, well, please, no hackers hack me, but you know, they're physical keys. So unless you get a hold of it, no one can hack me. Hopefully, please don't hack me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like child safety, I would say like parents, you know, monitoring their kids.
Because like, I don't know if people are joking or not, but I'm on this server with like over 300,000 people. And I like sometimes see people asking each other what their ages are. And then some people respond saying they're 10. And I don't know if they're joking, but if they're actually 10, then that's like a problem.
Yeah, no, that definitely is. That's scary, you know?
How many subscribers do you want to gain by the end of 2024?
So I would say 1 million, but more realistically, maybe 700,000. But I can dream. You know, I would love 1 million, but you know, that's probably not realistic. Who knows?
Yeah. I want to keep doing YouTube for more years to come.
Yes. I love YouTube and content creation. So I definitely grew to love it the more I studied it. You know, I think that a lot of people find that that studying stuff like this is like boring. It's like, I don't want to learn about the algorithm. But I think the more I learned about it and the more I got better at it, it becomes like a hobby. It becomes like a passion. Like, ooh, like I want to know like this new thing that happened. Like, oh, how did that guy get like 1 million views, whereas that other video got like 100 views? And it's like the same video or something like that. You know, it's very interesting to me. And like I think like in, you know, instead of just YouTube, like content creation as a whole, it like opens up a whole world where, you know, I can have like influence that I could not in any other form, like in person or anything at all. And I would use that, you know, that influence for good, obviously, not evil. And I think that is the best way, you know, to reach a lot of people is through YouTube and through like, you know, apps like these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final question is, what is your message to all of your subscribers?
Okay, so my message is going to be something more deep, probably not related to anything that we've talked about, but you know, I'm pretty passionate about this. So there's a quote that I live by. So it goes like this: it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. So, you know, anything that happens to you, right? You know, you grew up in a poor household, right? You are abused, you know, you don't even have a cell phone, or you don't even have parents, you know. But the thing is, like, you know, these things happen to you and it sucks and it's not your fault. But, you know, if you want to, you know, make a difference in your life, it's about, you know, taking responsibility. It's like, you know, no matter if you have lost your limbs, you know, you can still do something incredible in the world. And there is not anything stopping you as long as you are breathing. And, you know, I know that, like, even though sometimes it seems like it's impossible to a lot of people, it's not. And you can really make, you know, you just have to go through a lot of difficulty, but you can change the world.